Calaroga Shark Media.
Hello and welcome to Palace Intrigue. I am your host, Mark Francis. The Daily Beast reports even Meghan's dog has been roped into selling jam. Per the Beast, Mama Mia, a Beagle who was rescued from an animal testing facility with 8 pups, was adopted by Meghan and her husband Prince Harry in 2022, joining their other rescue dog, Guy. Meghan's friend, the noted Jam Enthusiast Abigail Spencer, has been upstaged by photographs of Mama Mia nuzzling Spencer in the latest pictures. The presence of the dog playing with Spencer in what looks like a verdant garden suggests that the picture may have been taken at Meghan's $14 million Montecito home. Abigail Spencer's long-lasting friendship with Meghan started back in 2007. Spencer recently recalled the moment while guesting on the Kelly Clarkson show, saying, "I was doing a pilot for NBC and I went to read with the people who were supposed to play my best friend. They were testing other actresses. I walk in, I see this beautiful, gorgeous creature at the end of the table, and I'm like, who is that? We had an immediate something, and her name is Meghan Markle. It was just something between us. Our friendship really developed during that time and deepened. She's an incredible person." Royal commentator Angela Levin told GB News, "I have to say the jam issue is ridiculous. There's a picture of a friend of hers lying on the grass, cuddling a bowl in which the jam is placed in the middle with lemons around it and a dog lying next to her. So she's holding this as if it's someone else that she really loves. I think this is too far. I mean, it's jam." We asked our royal insider if they had received one of the 50 jars of Meghan's jam. Deep Crown told us, Well, I must say I'm flattered that you would think I might be among those chosen few, but alas, my pantry remains sadly bereft of the Duchess's culinary creations. I imagine the list of recipients for Meghan's jam is a veritable who's who of the glitterati, carefully curated to maximize buzz and star power. But really, is this what we've come to, speculating about the distribution list for a batch of strawberry preserves? I know the royal news cycle can be a bit slow at times, but surely there must be more pressing matters to discuss than the contents of Meghan's kitchen. We explained that it's actually not a slow news day. There is a royal orgy to talk about. We just see increased demand in this jam subplot. Deep Crown said, "I suppose I should count my blessings. At least I'm not being upstaged by Mamma Mia, the royal corgi who seems to be hogging the limelight these days. It seems that even in the world of royal pets, there's a pecking order, and I'm afraid I don't rank very highly on that list. I must say that King Charles is no slouch in the jam-making department himself. I've had the privilege of sampling some of his homemade preserves, and I can attest to their deliciousness." We decided to ask Deep Crown about Rebel Wilson's Royal Orgy story from yesterday. They said, "There's an old saying in London. You hear a lot of things in this city, and some of them are even true. This is certainly a juicy bit of gossip, isn't it? A wild party attended by a minor royal, complete with drugs, orgies, and all manner of debauchery. It's the kind of story that would have the tabloids salivating and the social set buzzing for weeks, but here we are talking about jam." But as you know, as salacious as these details are, I can't say that I'm entirely surprised. The British aristocracy has had a long and storied history of secret parties and illicit pleasures dating back centuries, from the hedonistic excesses of the Hellfire Club in the 18th century to the drug-fueled soirees of the swinging 60s. There's always been an undercurrent of wild behaviour bubbling just beneath the surface of polite society. Of course, the royals themselves are no strangers to this kind of thing. Princess Margaret and Lord Snowdon were notorious for their wild parties and bohemian lifestyle, and there have been plenty of other royals over the years who have been caught up in scandals involving drugs, sex, and other vices. But the key word here is secret. These kinds of parties and behaviours are rarely talked about openly, and when they do come to light, it's often in the form of rumour and innuendo, rather than hard facts. That's why it's so difficult to pin down the identity of the royal in question in this particular case. The aristocracy closes ranks around its own, and there's a powerful incentive to keep these kind of stories under wraps. The tabloids have been working the clues from Rebel Wilson to determine who the royal in question is. Rebel Wilson has made startling claims in her memoir about attending a wild party hosted by a tech billionaire in California, where she says a British royal invited her, saying, "We need more girls." According to Wilson, the party featured extravagant activities like jousting on horses and mermaids in the pool at the massive property. She writes that in the early morning hours, a tray of drugs, specifically MDMA or Molly, was brought out, and a screenwriter informed her it was for the impending orgy. Wilson quotes the individual as saying, "Oh, it's for the orgy. The orgies normally start at these things about this time." She then realized the royals' earlier comment about needing more girls made sense in this context. They weren't talking about a boy-girl ratio like it was a Year 8 disco. They were talking about an orgy. Wilson said she left the party as fast as she could after this realization. Since Wilson's remarks surfaced, society gossips have speculated about the identity of the minor royal in question. One source told the Daily Beast, "The genius of it is that by saying they were 15th or 20th in line to the throne 10 years ago, that's a huge pool of people. There are vast numbers of Windsor cousins, and some of them have spent and do spend quite a lot of time out in the US. Friends and acquaintances of various royals known for partying have dismissed the idea of their involvement. One said of a particular royal, 'It couldn't be him. He might have been invited to a party, but the idea of him organizing girls, staying up all night and doing drugs and having an orgy at that stage in his life is ridiculous. He was in a relationship and she wouldn't have put up with that kind of crap.' Another noted, 'Her account is so vague, it's impossible to prove or disprove. I'm sure there have been plenty of fancy parties with drugs available in California since the dawn of human history. Maybe he was there. It's not inconceivable. I'm sure it's a great way to sell books.' The Daily Mail even figured out a way to drag Kate into all of this. The headline, 'She's an old chum of Kate's, chair of her children's school PTA, and runs a £15 million sex party empire for the middle class.' But do Emma and her husband ever join in the orgies? Absolutely not. Just to be clear, this is separate from Rebel Wilson's orgy, we think. The Daily Mail writes, 'Walking her Cocker Spaniels along the Thames towpath before the school run, Emma Sale looks very into the typical South London yummy mummy. Blonde, affluent, and athletic, a rowing mate of Kate Middleton, she attended the same boarding school. In addition to the dogs, Rex and Bob, the 46-year-old has 3 children, aged 5, 7, and 9, and is chairman of their primary school PTA. Emma's talents, though, extend far beyond organising a charity bake sale. An adrenaline junkie who has climbed Kilimanjaro and run marathons across the Sahara, she is the founder and CEO of Killing Kittens, a female-centric sex party business. The name Killing Kittens is not about animal violence. It is a reference to something you might do in your alone time, and we'll leave it at that. Pitched at an elite clientele, Killing Kittens' ticketed monthly events, held at venues that include Scottish castles and underground cabaret clubs, have 2 big rules. Men are banned from approaching women and also from attending alone. The Mail tells us that while some guests may choose to watch or flirt, others indulge in shenanigans in hot tubs, dungeons, or king-sized beds, all at their own risk. And with that, it's probably best that we take a break. Buckingham Palace has announced that Queen Camilla, Prince William, and Catherine, the Princess of Wales, have all received historic royal honours on St. George's Day. These appointments come at a time when both King Charles and Catherine have been receiving treatment for cancer, and they recognise the efforts of those at the centre of the royal family who have been keeping up with official duties. Queen Camilla becomes the Grand Master of the Order of the British Empire, a role once held by Prince Philip and King George VI. This order was established in 1917 to honour a broader cross-section of civilian and military recipients. In a show of support from the King, Catherine becomes the first royal to be appointed as a Companion of Honour, joining a select group of people recognised for their contribution to public life, such as Sir David Attenborough, Ian McEwan, and Sir Elton John. Prince William is appointed as the Great Master of the Order of the Bath, taking on a role previously held by his father when he was Prince of Wales. The Order of the Bath was established in the 18th century to reward exemplary service in military or civilian life. The Duchess of Gloucester, a working royal at the age of 77, becomes a member of the Order of the Garter, the oldest and most senior of the orders of chivalry. Lord Lloyd Webber, who composed music for last year's coronation, also becomes a member of the Order of the Garter, along with Air Chief Marshal Lord Peach and Lord Cacker. However, the anti-monarchy group Republic has criticised these honours, with Chief Executive Graham Smith calling them a slap in the face for all the hard-working people who get awarded MBEs, OBEs and CBEs, and an act of breathtaking nepotism. And there you have it. If you'd like to email us, our address is thepalaceintrigue@gmail.com. Please follow us on Spotify, Apple, or your app of choice. Hit those 5 stars if you like the show, or leave us a review. I'm Mark Francis. My thanks to John McDermott. This is Palace Intrigue, and good times.